You must remember what Amalek has done to you, says our Holy Bible.
Our mother's crying out for a little baby. They're pulling out a child from the rubble and debris. The U.S. sends the bombs. Just stop us if you dare. They're killing little children. Do they even really care? You know we're not to blame. We've hidden truth from the start. Since Abel killed by Cain, has the devil played his part? You're making me angry, 'cause you're trying to gaslight me with smoke and mirrors to deny what I can see.
Israel is now killing children.
Dr. Ala al-Najjar is used to seeing the horrors of war in Gaza. She's an emergency room doctor in Khan Yunis. But the charred bodies that arrived at her hospital on Friday were of her own children.
The BBC World Service has compiled material on over 160 cases where children have been shot in Gaza.
This is the story of the death of one little girl. Her name is Hind Rajab, and she was 5. On January the 29th, with her uncle, aunt and 4 cousins, Hind crammed into a car to escape the fighting. Within minutes, they were attacked. These pictures, filmed by Sky News journalists inside Gaza, show the destroyed car. After the initial attack, 2 people were still alive, Hind and her 15-year-old cousin Leanne, who spoke to the Palestinian Red Crescent.
Hello?
No, مرحبا عمو.
انت بابا جنبك.
انتم متخبيين؟
بالسيارة احنا زميلك بالصعبة.
Hello?
With the phone line dead, the Red Crescent rang back. Hind answered. She was now alone in the car. The other family members all killed. The dispatcher stayed in touch with Hind, trying to comfort her, scared and alone. The ambulance left from the Al-Hali hospital at 5:40 p.m. It was attacked a few meters short of the family car. Both paramedics were killed. And this is their radio communication with the Red Crescent in their final moments.
خليك معي، شايف السيارة أنت؟
Hind was left to die without help.
Like a clever magic trick, we can make truth disappear. They'll believe us when we say There's nothing to see here to cover up what's true. We'll say they caught up in the fight, a regrettable occurrence. For our spokesman's always right. The first casualty of war is the truth, so they say. Don't challenge or refuse, just believe and obey. You're making me angry.
What I saw on the sites, around the sites, to and from the sites, can be described as nothing but war crimes.
And the IDF were shooting at the crowd. So they're shooting to control the population that's along the Marab corridor. And as they're doing that, they're shooting into this crowd. And Palestinian civilians, human beings, are dropping to the ground, getting shot. And Amir was one of them. Amir walked 12 kilometers to get food, got nothing but scraps, thanked us for it, and died.
Even more distressing was the pattern of injuries that we saw, the clustering of injuries to particular body parts on certain days. So one day they'd be coming in predominantly with gunshot wounds to the head or the neck, another day to the chest, another day to the abdomen. And I operated one day on half a dozen young boys, all of whom had severe abdominal injuries. One day, 12 days ago, 4 young teenage boys came in, all of whom had been shot in the testicles.
Over 1,000 people have been killed, shot at, trying to get...
That's a lie.
Nothing could have prepared me for the extent of the starvation that I witnessed firsthand in the patients I was treating. What I have seen from my firsthand experience is a 10-year-old girl who was shot through the leg at one of the JHF sites and subsequently had an amputation. My scrub nurse that I was working with every single day was followed home by a quadcopter drone, and it didn't kill him on the way home from eyewitness. It waited until he was in his tent and greeted his 3 children and killed them all.
So every day that I operated, the first 6 cases would be children, and the screaming in the recovery room would not stop until about 3 in the afternoon, and we had no analgesia to give those children.
This is the final footage, filmed by a medic in Gaza, gunned down and killed by Israeli forces on March 23rd, along with more than a dozen of his colleagues. They were on their way to help another emergency crew wounded in an earlier Israeli attack. The man who filmed the video was Rifat Radwan. His body was found in a shallow grave. His phone, with the footage detailing the last minutes of his life, was still in his pocket. And that footage has blown up the IDF's initial narrative about the killings. The sound of gunfire goes on for more than 5 minutes. We can hear Rifat reciting the Shahada, a Muslim declaration of faith, often uttered in the moments before death. Also among his final words, an apology to his mother.
يما سامحيني يما، هذه هي الطريقة اللي اخترتها يما، إني أساعد الناس. سامحيني يما، يما سامحيني، والله ما قلت هذه الطريقة اللي أساعد الناس. يا رب تب علي، يا رب من كتبتني من الشهداء.
It's been almost 3 years to the day since Al Jazeera journalist Shireen Abu Akleh was shot dead by Israeli forces while covering a raid in the occupied West Bank city of Jenin. The army initially denied responsibility, even suggesting Palestinian fighters were to blame. More than 200 Palestinian journalists have been killed by Israel. Filmmakers say they want to put that in the spotlight.
The IDF is the most moral army in the world.
Maybe I killed a girl, she was 12, but I'm looking for a baby.
הרגנו בהם עשרות אלפים של עמלקים.
IDF is the most moral army in the world.
There's no justification for destroying a structure if the enemy isn't in it.
Videos don't show a professional army. They show an army that at times appears to almost completely lack any self-discipline.
We gathered accounts in the Gaza Strip of people being beaten. We have a picture of one man who had a Star of David carved into his back. They've got a man and he's being forced to go and inspect empty buildings, open the doors and so on, so that if they're booby-trapped or if there's an ambush, he will get it.
The commander can choose for himself what he does, so it's kind of like Wild West. And so some commanders can really decide to do war crimes and do bad things and like don't have very consequences.
Why do you think some of the bodies were found with ties around their hands?
Well, because we probably arrested the terrorists.
And then killed them?
Well, I don't know if the terrorists fought back. I wasn't there.
Thousands of starving people have gathered here to receive food. But as the aid trucks arrive, this happens. By morning, over 100 would be dead.
You're saying it's only been one civilian that's been killed for one Hamas terrorist in Gaza?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Netanyahu lies, is a liar. The IDF are lying.
But the Israelis do a doggone good job of trying to protect innocent human life. They do an amazing job of trying to prevent collateral damage. And I wish that they would get credit for some of the things their military does to protect Gazans, the civilians.
An investigation by The Guardian and 2 Israeli media outlets has just blown the lid off Israel's lies. Internal Israel military data, its own classified numbers, show that 83% of the people killed in Gaza are civilians.
כל ילד, כל תינוק בעזה הוא אויב.
I see the infants of Gaza being mutilated and bombed and killed, and the conditions they had to endure, and the fear that's being inflicted on them, and the trauma that they're experiencing. How can I not think of my own experience as an infant in the Second World War?
وكانت على قيد الحياة قبل أيام، كانت تناشد من تحت الركام.
How many children have you killed?
Pierce, Israel is not killing children. Israel is not killing children. Hamas is using them as human
Israel is killing
shields.
children every single day.
Israel continues to refuse to allow international journalists, including the BBC, into Gaza.
It may be if you let them in, then they wouldn't just count the number of terrorists who are being killed, they'd be also able to record how many children are being killed, because it strikes me as utterly extraordinary that you, as the ambassador to my country, are able to say with complete clarity and certainty 30,000 Hamas have been killed, but you seem to have absolutely no idea how many children have died in the process.
27 people killed. You say there was a threat. Did they have weapons?
Well, you'll have to ask the IDF for the specifics points.
I'm asking you. You're here to speak.
Right, and I'll tell you that the IDF is not
preventing the arrival of Gazans at humanitarian sites.
That was not my question, David, as you well know. Did they have weapons, David?
All of the allegations against us are fully baseless, fully political.
Over the past 21 months of war, more than 17,000 children have reportedly been killed.
and 33,000 injured in Gaza. An average of 28 children have been killed each day, the equivalent of an entire classroom.
How many children have been killed?
Pierce, Israel is not killing children.